Hey guys, welcome back to OverTakes. This is Kel.
And this is Misfit.
And we are here with our weekly preview of the matches to come of Week 3 of Stage 3 of the 2019 Overwatch League season.
Yeah, we're getting down to the wire. Getting at least in Stage 3, and we're getting to the 3/4 point.
Yeah, it's almost over, but. So now it just becomes more and more imperative. Some of these games that are being played and final positioning and all of that, and
all the map differentially stuff and all that kind of thing.
And I mean, like we'll be kind of diving more into that as we go on. That's going to be we'll get really into that Stage 4 and like seeing, because all of those games are gonna matter so much more as we continue on. But let's dive into some of the news. So we had the patch drop yesterday.
With the replays and the Baptiste story, whatever special event thing with the skin. Yeah.
So there was also the McCree buff. The
McCree and his machine gun.
Yeah, machine gun McCree. Which actually they did tone it down just slightly from what it was on the PTR. It's still faster, but it is slightly less than what it was on PTR.
It's still pretty damn fast.
It's still insane. Yeah. I was playing it last night and it was ridiculous. Yeah. It's super fun. I'm actually probably going to play a lot more McCree now.
And I was messing around with Torb a little bit just to see what the nerf was to him. The secondary shot, it doesn't seem like it's a lot, but it's considerable. There's considerable drop off on the damage because you could just roast people.
Oh yeah, before it would just be like you'd get one shot, especially like playing some of the like free for all and stuff like that, where you just get like you just have a Torb come up and just blast you with one right click and you're done. Like so frustrating. So yeah, there was those. There was also the slight change to Orisa as well.
Because I was playing last night.
It's really nice.
I was playing last night. We were playing together for a little bit, and I noticed that how much easier it was to do that. I was getting murdered, but
like it's really nice to like. I don't know. It feels like
better.
I have so much more uptime with it too. I think that's the biggest thing.
And you can control like you don't have to worry about doing the should I reload or should I drop the barrier. It's just it kind of gets you in. You have to kind of get a different flow, and then of course it becomes second nature. All right, reloading, drop a new barrier at the same time, and everything kind of is part of the routine when you're playing her. It's just going to take a bit,
but it's nice. I like that change a lot. Oh yeah, and then there was of course the big D.Va nerf. So they pulled down the range on her D-matrix or her defense matrix, and then also updated the visual so it's much clearer as to where the matrix is.
Yeah, I didn't like playing D.Va. I didn't like the way it looked in the mech. It's just a visual thing. I was just like I don't like the way it. It's just like what you're used to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what they were saying. Eventually you'll get used to it, but...
Exactly. I think as playing against D.Va, it's so nice.
Especially on ladder and stuff.
Yeah, especially on ladder. Just in general. Yeah. Like, just seeing, like, her defense matrix is up, just don't even bother. Like, honestly, I think that's going to be more significant, especially in the lower elos, than anything else.
It's kind of like what you used to do with Zarya. As soon as you see the bubble, just don't fire at her.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it doesn't matter now. People are just like, fuck it, the barrier goes away quick. But, a long time ago when you would do that, it was before they kind of changed some of the dynamics of that at one point. I don't remember all of them, but...
Yeah, so then we have all the short story and the event that's going on. So there's like a new Baptiste skin that's available. After you win 9 games, there's sprays that you're going to get for watching players on Twitch. Like I know they were featuring Seagull yesterday, which he's always kind of the first guy that they start with. And then
probably
I'm sure we'll see Emong and Fran and
Carq.
I know Calvin is going to be part of it too.
Yeah. Calvin's just going to play McCree and kill everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want to watch the new McCree,
I think, who else was I watching last night that's probably going to be part of it?
A bunch of the the top tier main guys that you all expect to be involved in it.
I did watch Calvin for a little bit, and I don't understand how people like him. Like, he's too screamy. Yeah. I'm not a fan. Like, what are you doing? Like, okay, dude.
Comment. Like, XQC's the same way. But XQC talks too fast sometimes for me to even...
Yeah, like, contemplate.
He's like 600 miles an hour. I mean, it's kind of fun and stuff, but he's just he's a little too intense.
Yeah, for me, Calvin, like, I can kind of tolerate XQC for a little bit, but with Calvin, it's just like, the moment he starts, like, yelling at somebody on his team for, like, not doing something or doing something wrong, I'm just like, I'm done with this guy. But lots of cool things to unlock. But the big thing is the tease of the new possible hero. We got another new possible hero, but this one seems a little more fleshed out because they talked explicitly about the things that he does and, like, his character and why those things would happen. Like, there's a moment where he talks about how he gets very hot-headed, but, like, he inspires, like, the rest of his team to do better things, and, like,
the double machine gun.
Yeah, he's got the double machine gun with, like, after a certain amount of time, it heats up too hot, so he has to, like, turn that off. Like, so basically, he sounds like the heavy gunner from the Retribution and Storm Rising events.
Yeah, I keep forgetting they were in Storm Rising as well. That one was kind of forgettable. So
yeah, it was.
The map is cool, but that was kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I think, and his name is Mwaga.
Yeah, Mwaga.
He looks like the Rock's character from Moana.
Yeah, he really does.
With a Hawaiian shirt on. Like, what was they calling him? Him and from The Simpsons. Don King, fake Don King.
Oh, yeah. Lucius Sweets.
He calls Lucius Sweets, yeah. It's like they like combine them together because he's got that white streak in his hair and all that.
Right.
I mean, it looks cool. I mean, he seems like he's going to be... And they also said something about he had a barrier.
Yeah.
Some sort of barrier shield thing.
I think it's going to be more of like a personal barrier.
I was thinking... I don't know. I was thinking it was kind of be like some kind of... Because he has to go one-handed. So... I mean,
like,
this is
just in the story. He probably can't
shoot
while he does that.
Or he has to go one-handed, or you can drop the shield and go two guns.
Yeah.
Unless they make that as well. I think but the interesting thing is the Rage and the Inspire thing.
Yeah.
I have the feeling it's like in one of the, like whatever MMO, like the Berserk kind of mode.
Yeah. Well, there's like
or Rage.
It's like the, shout that like the warriors have in World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah, like that.
It's like the inspiring shout where like you either, I think you shoot or like you attack faster, I believe. Yeah. It's something along those lines. I don't know if you'd want to do that in this because holy God, if you give like a shooting increase, but like maybe like a movement speed increase
or attack speed, or maybe even if it just gives them
like a some kind of damage buff or something like that.
Yeah, or even the ability, God forbid, to take less damage.
Or maybe like it's something that decreases cooldowns.
Yeah, like, maybe that would be cool.
I think that would definitely be something, because that's something we don't already have either. Something that kind of like decreases the cooldowns of other characters. And I think that would pair really well with a lot of things. You get a lot of really good synergy with that. Yeah,
and I wish there was like maybe if it does, it kind of could work like a Moira thing, not like a beam, but it does the cooldown thing for you, but it intimidates the other team. Because I always like that mechanic, the intimidation mechanic.
Yeah.
Something like that where their cooldowns go up more.
Yeah.
Or something happens, to affect them. Yeah, more CC. But, the CC doesn't bother me.
But, I mean, because that's the thing with CC is it's...
I like different forms of it, not just bash stun.
Yeah, exactly. Just like...
Or flashbang stun.
Yeah. Something like that I think would be cool. Like, maybe it increases the cooldowns for the other team, or... Yeah. Decreases your team's, like something like that would be a really interesting mechanic.
But if it did like a dual thing like that would be awesome. And of course, I keep thinking they're like dual machine guns. I'm like, so is he kind of going to be like taking Hammond's guns? You know,
that's kind of what I'm feeling like. I'm getting that, or possibly like 2 of Orissa's guns at the same time, but like he's more vulnerable because he doesn't have his shield up while he's doing that.
Yeah,
something like that.
Obviously, the optimal play. I mean, obviously, this is all speculation.
Yeah.
But optimal play probably would be shield. You know, your shield with one gun, but you know sometimes you need extra damage. You just dive in.
Right.
With both.
Or maybe you can't use either gun while you're shielding, maybe. Something like that. That kind of balances that out. So, like, instead of, like, where you have a Rhine where he can only melee with his shield down, you can only shoot while your shield is down. But his shield is maybe smaller, so you kind of have to be a little more grouped up behind him type of thing.
Yeah, or, you know, it's like Orisa as well. With the movement, it slows down, you know, your attack speed.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different things that they could do with that. I expect probably to find out more.
I would say in the next week or two.
Yeah, exactly.
Expect something from it because they've just been out and out deliberate throwing shit at you since Brigida.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody kind of missed Brigida, but everybody said, oh, we want Brigida as the next hero. Like, because, you know, your anime art people that are, I don't even... the people wanted fucking Brig porn first.
Yeah, basically.
Before they wanted Brig in the game. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. So let's dive into some of the news that's come out in the past couple days.
Hey guys, this is Misfit. So we recorded this episode yesterday, literally 10 minutes before we finished literally 10 minutes before the Mayhem dropped the news of all of their changes they made. We're going to dive more into this on Sunday on the back cap, but just, throwing this out there for you guys before you hear the rest of this, which includes a big rant from me as a frustrated Mayhem fan. I'm super excited about this, by the way, just throwing that out there. We got a coach, Unread, assistant coach, KH1, and an analyst, Royu. As far as the roster pickups go, picked up main tank Carrion, off tank Gargoyle, and DPS player DPI, but these 3 players are what looks to be a good trio that the Mayhem have picked up. They're not on the usual path that I was, expecting. They're not just like cast-offs and that kind of thing. They're actually decent players. So we're going to talk more about that on Sunday. I just wanted to dive in and throw this in here while I was editing, just so you get the context of where this next bit is coming from, and we will continue.
So one kind of minor one is the Mayhem have picked up Rain from O2 Blast, and he's a support main.
Yeah, main support. They run like I think they run like a 3 like rotating main supports.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird. But O2 Blast was like the second. They came in second in Korean contenders. They lost to I forgot who it was. And they were in the gauntlet.
Runaway again, was it?
No, it was the
Condu Panthera, or
no,
one of the other ones.
Yeah, one of the other ones.
Some other team.
The team that's running the Hack Fist.
Oh, okay. I don't remember the team that you're talking about. I don't remember the name of the team, but I know
Element Mystic.
Ah, yes. Okay.
So they lost to Element Mystic. I don't really know what the Mayhem are doing right now. Everyone's telling me that bare hands, trust bare hands. All right. I don't trust fucking anybody with this team right now, because right now it's just, it doesn't matter. It's like they're running on a budget. That's blatantly obvious by who they're picking up, because we're going to get to the next deal that I lost my mind about, that my team did not fucking get him, because he's my favorite player, and we're done with the Mayhem right now. So we're moving on, because I'm just going to get more heated and more angry and just start punching things. By the way, if you're listening, anyone on the Mayhem, beat the fucking Outlaws this week. That's all I want. For the rest of the season, beat the Outlaws so I can run around the internet and be an absolute moron for one day of my life with this team. Thank you. Let's move on.
All right. So the big deal that happened this week is Envy has been moved to Shanghai from Toronto. We were kind of expecting some kind of move ever since they picked up the guys that they did. They had Gods and
Sherrick.
Ever since they picked up those 2 players, we've kind of expected Envy to be on the move. I think they just wanted to make a different kind of run. They're kind of going more for a mixed roster than a full Korean roster.
And to be honest, those guys did deserve a shot. I mean,
yeah.
Envy, I'm calling Envy right now. If you guys are football fans, I'm calling him Steve DeBerg. You have to be old to know this one. Because Steve DeBerg is a quarterback for the 49ers in the late 70s. They were kind of bad. And then what happened was they drafted Joe Montana. Space.
Yep.
He moved on to Denver, and they were mediocre for a couple years. And then in 1983, they drafted John Elway.
Yeah.
Gods.
Fair enough.
You're just in the wrong spot. But he ended up playing and going to the playoffs with a bunch of other, a couple other teams.
Right.
Where, he was really good. He was just in a situation where someone was better than him twice.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Right.
And he should be on the mayhem. Fuck that.
I see that parallel, but I also kind of see, some of these guys in the NBA that have been really good players, but they've moved on. I see maybe a Paul George or that kind of player, where they've moved around a little bit, but they're still a very, very good player.
They're still all-star quality players.
Right.
And also, he was good in this meta. I think a lot of the wins that they had were because of him and Stellar.
Yeah.
The way they were playing.
Yeah, I really think Stellar leaving and retiring had a lot to do with everything that has happened since that.
Yeah.
I think that really kind of shook up everything that they were building. Yeah. And so now they kind of had to go back to the drawing board and kind of rebuild a little bit mid-season just to kind of fix that hole, because as we have seen, replacing Stellar has been damn near impossible for this team.
Yeah, I mean, they've had Ivy doing it, they've had IM37 doing it, and it's just hasn't worked.
Yeah.
They did Envy a solid, though.
Yeah.
Because I think he was an integral part of that team, and he was their captain and all that stuff, and I think he was a pretty positive influence, as much as we were saying, is he going off the rails or whatever. I think it was just a decision by the management to try something different.
Yeah.
Because they had to.
Right.
Almost.
And and moving him to Shanghai kind of shows that he actually, who would have thought that at this time last year, that we'd be saying that, getting dealt to Shanghai is actually a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the interesting thing now, onto the other side of the trade or whatever transaction that happened with this is, so Shanghai got rid of Guardian, who they didn't really play.
Yeah.
I mean,
he played a little bit to start the season, but his play time has dramatically dropped in the last stage and a half or so.
Yeah, I mean, he's barely played a mapper here and there.
Right.
It's because they're running the Somber Goats and they're running Ding a lot, who can flip on the Diva.
Right.
They also had Gagori, so we were just if they're going to run a regular kind of 3-3 scenario, maybe they're just going to throw Gagori in.
Right.
Now they pick up Envy.
Yeah. So now we know where Envy's going to fit in on that part. And then I also think that this does a little bit coincide with what we're most likely going to see in Stage 4. Yeah. We don't have any confirmation yet, and it's still rumor, but if we do get 2-2-2 lock going into Stage 4, which is it's honestly gathering more and more steam as the days go on.
And now this right now, if you're a betting person, if it goes 2-2-2 lock, start throwing some money on Shanghai, because you're going to have two of the best dive tanks.
Yeah.
In Gamsu and Envy.
Yeah.
Then you have Diem and Ding on DPS.
Yeah.
And their supports, who we're gonna talk some more Shanghai later. Their supports are phenomenal.
Yes.
They are going to be fucking scary.
Yeah, this team is going to be terrifying.
They will challenge teams like New York.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's more New York style, the 2-2-2. There's pieces missing from New York too. Ark's not there anymore. I know Animo's good, but Ark's a better Mercy. Yeah. If you're going to run a Mercy.
Exactly.
But I love this move if this goes to a 2-2-2 lock. Yeah. This is fantastic. And they were thinking ahead. It's not that Gagori's bad. Envy's just better.
But Envy's just better, yeah.
Yeah. And
for sure.
Him and Gamsu together could be fucking phenomenal.
Absolutely.
It could be better than him and Fate.
It really could be. I think this is a big move for Shanghai, especially if it goes to that. But I also think that even if it doesn't go in 2-2-2, I still think this is a good move for them. Because he's a versatile player as well. And they can really do a lot with him.
And I think they were also, I don't think Guardian was working out. I don't know what was going on with Guardian with that.
But there was clearly something not working.
And I don't think your Gray's as good at the 3-3. It's a different fucking thing.
It really is.
Because she's like a Zarya master, but she's that season 3 Zarya.
Right. Well,
season 4.
It's part of what we talked about with what we talked about last year in Dive, where it's like you either have a defensive diva or you have an offensive diva, and there was really only 2 or 3 guys that could switch between those on a dime.
Yeah.
And like we talked, like Cool Matt was a really good defensive diva.
Right.
So he's like almost completely
like
mono. Like they're just...
Or Meko, whichever.
Meko. Yeah, Meko.
I just do that.
It should be easy to remember because Meko plays diva who's in a mech. But yeah, like it should be easier than it is, but it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so you have those guys, and then you have the guys that are really good offensive divas, and then
like Poco and Envy and
Poco and Envy. But then you get like really the only guys that are versatile enough to play both is like Space and Note.
Yeah, and Note's good. He's good at all of the. They're both good at all of the like the peeling and all the stuff that you need in Dive. You know, protecting the monkey.
Right.
Going back and taking care of the back line.
And they're good at that, but now we're seeing the limitations of Space's game in this meta because it's another completely different version of Diva where you kind of have to, like, you're playing both, but you're playing neither.
Yeah. You're, like, doing a little... You're, like... I forget who it was. It was Fury that said this, and he's another...
Oh, Fury is the other one.
He's another good, just all-around Diva.
Yeah, Diva, or Fury, I would say, is probably the top tier.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't matter what kind of Diva you need, Fury will conform to that because, case in point, he's still fucking doing it.
Yeah. Well, I think he was saying that, you know, in this 3-3 meta, Diva, you play kind of the in-between.
Yeah. Between
the Rein and the Zarya and the supports. And, you know, the Rein Zarya, you kind of have the Rein Zarya and Brigitte. Mm-hmm. And then Diva's kind of
in the back. But then Diva's kind of in between the supports and the Rein Zarya.
So she's, and it's a whole different style because you're kind of helping them.
You're helping the front line, but you're also protecting your back line.
Yeah. And that's why I think they take her out and to put Sombra in instead of just, you know, flipping like Brig out or something else.
Right.
She's integral to that. But she's not because the bomb thing doesn't really matter anymore.
Right, because
like bomb combo,
bomb combo, and
it's more zoning. Like
it's more for zoning. It's also more. Honestly, the biggest reason she was even there in the first place is to eat grabs.
Yeah.
And there's so much defense against a grab between Lucio and Zen. It really doesn't.
You can make your way through.
There's other ways to get around getting grabbed now. And even just getting Rein shielded, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, they figured it out. They're pros.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think the space thing is good. The space thing. The Envy thing is going to be good. Glad I didn't order the jersey.
Yeah, right.
Kind of sucks. I'm still going to get a Toronto jersey, but...
Maybe just a generic one now. Well, actually, maybe you'll be able to get an Envy jersey, and it'll be a lot cheaper, yeah.
It looks like I can get that Tavik fucking...
Florida jersey.
the Tavik alternate jersey.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go get a custom jersey on Florida. I'm going to get fucking number 10 and put Envy on it. Because I'm a dick. I'm going to be like a Browns fan now.
Yeah. It'd be like the guys that last year got Odell Beckham Jr. jerseys because... They're just like, whatever, I'm going to do this because I feel like we can.
And then they were like, it works!
I did it! All right, so let's dive in to the matches that we're going to be watching this week.
I apologize for all the coughing, guys. I've had a cold for like a fucking week and it will not go away. Anyway, sorry.
But let's dive into the matches that we think are going to be good matches to watch, and then they kind of have some impact on future things as well.
The first one we're going to talk about, oh my God, 2 weeks ago, did we even think we were going to be talking about this match?
Not at all.
Houston and Shanghai. Houston and Paris.
Yeah.
So these are two teams that are on a really good uptick.
Yes.
I'm the dick in the room. I'm just going to throw it out there. Yes, Houston's playing good. They're playing better. I'm not putting them in the top 10 yet.
I'm not putting them in the top 10, but they have definitely climbed out of the basement, and they're right in that 10 to 14 range for me.
Yeah, they've gone to me. All right, they've gone to where they were before they went south with playing goats up against everything.
Yeah.
No matter what team it was, they do look a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it's what we said to start. You play to your strengths. For God's sake. And everyone's starting to figure that out a little bit.
Yeah.
If you have a really good Sombra player, like the top 2 Sombra players in the league, one of them, fucking play him.
Yep. And that leads us into the guy we wanted to talk about most from Houston, and that's Dante.
Yeah.
And
he's a beast.
The difference that he has made for this team, I mean, we talked about it in the offseason that, like, he really could have a huge impact on this team.
And Sombra was one of the things we talked about.
And Sombra was a huge factor, and we've been talking that Sombra could really make a big difference in being the catalyst that finally breaks goats, I guess.
Yeah, breaks it up without being, forced into like 2-2-2 lock or something like that.
And it's finally coming to fruition, and I think that this is having a big positive impact on this team and just the league in general, because now they're feeling like they don't have to play that same goats
ramming your head against the wall.
Exactly, and just constantly running into the same thing over and over and over again. And I think Dante's been the catalyst that has really pushed that for them. And honestly, like, his versatility is huge for them as well. And like,
and he can flip on a diva if you need him to, but he can play Tracer, he can play other things.
Exactly.
And like we were just talking about, Diva's necessary, but she's not as necessary. Yeah, if you don't have the Diva in, you have to face Ana with, all of Ana's kit, and you don't have anything to necessarily stop a Grav.
Right. But there's other ways around it.
And EMP shuts everything off.
Yes. Exactly.
Wow.
If he's not there and Ana gets a really good nade on everybody while the trance is going off, but then EMP comes in, then that shuts all of that off. Yeah. And you're back to good.
And going to Sunday, when we were talking about this, Bob, Blazing Bob, who was on our back cap, he was talking about that, and he was saying that Dante's one that, like this week, he got their supports with the EMP, which nobody really does. Most of the time, he was getting one of the supports with the ult, too.
Yeah.
So he's ult tracking on Sombra better than some of the other guys are doing it.
Absolutely.
And that's important.
Yeah. I think that's been huge for them. And then that's opening it up for players like Jake and Linkser to play the characters that they're more comfortable with.
Yeah.
So they can make a bigger impact.
And they did.
And they absolutely have.
And I want to see,
then that's opening it up for a player like Muma. You're getting Raucus playing a character that he's better at and playing Ana. Like, it's really opened it up for this team. They're not having to play Cool Matt. I don't care what anybody says. Cool Matt's not that good.
Yeah.
Decent
enough.
He's decent enough, but he's not going to help them in this meta in this circumstance. If it goes full dive, sure, maybe it'll help them. But even then, they weren't even that great of a dive team. No, let's be honest.
They were good on the double sniper thing.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
When you get to play Jake and Linkser on Hangzhou and Widowmaker, yeah. Or Jake Rat.
Yeah, Jake Rat. I was going to say, the Jake Rat. Speaking of, he's, we were talking about him a little bit too, like just talking about Houston. He's one of the smartest players in the league, and for me, he doesn't have like some of the mechanical skills that some of these guys do, but his leadership and his awareness, I think.
Yes.
And having to play Brig, you have to be aware of what you're doing more than, like, you can't really survey the whole thing.
Right.
As much. I know you kind of have to try that, but most people are shot calling not from Brig right now.
Right.
Or, doing what they do. And he's just so smart, like, where he positions and
it's very clear that when he's not playing, they are a worse team.
Yeah.
Because he brings so much stability to everything that they're trying to do that if he's not playing, then they're just not the same team, and they're just not nearly as effective. So I think finding a way to get Jake in there is the best thing for this team.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really gives them a lot of flexibility. But then on the flip side, the team that they're playing in the first game is Paris, and we're seeing the versatility of this team and what they're doing. And that has been between the flipping that Danye and Finzi have been doing.
Yeah. Finzi's been doing the Diva Sombra thing, and he's been doing it well.
No, I thought Danye has been doing
the Zarya.
Yeah, Danye has been doing the Zarya Sombra, and then Finzi's been doing the Diva Zarya.
Yeah, I got that confused. But Finzi, I mean, he's just a really good off-tank. He's not is he the best off-tank? No, but he is proving that, he can play multiple different roles in that off-tank slot instead of just, okay, like we were talking, offensive diva, defensive diva, goats diva. He can do kind of all of that, and he is the best option, one of the best options on Zarya if they have him and Danye. I love Soon and Shadowburn, but their DPS
clearly
players
was not working. Yeah,
it just happens. I mean, and usually
they have the aim, but they just didn't have the cooldown management and the help that they need to provide to the rest of their team. Because it's that weird combo of you have to carry your team in a tank and DPS sense instead of just you go out there and you murder everybody as fast as you can. Sense
and it's hard when because the one thing that they both struggle with is the charge.
Yes.
And if you don't have charge on Zarya, you're just tickling people with a flashlight.
Right.
And you're just going to get murdered, fast.
You might as well be freaking Luigi in Luigi's Mansion, just, shining a flashlight on a ghost,
Yeah.
It stuns, oh! But you don't have the vacuum, you just have the flashlight.
Yeah. And they've looked really good this stage, and I was right. Yeah, granted, they played the Mayhem. But they did to the Mayhem what you should do if you're a decent team. Mm-hmm. They just absolutely shut them off.
Yeah.
The Mayhem got a map, but let's not even say that. I mean, so they got a map, but they still, when they had to, they kicked their ass.
Yeah, absolutely. Paris has looked 10 times better in this stage than they've looked all season. Really, the only point that they looked anywhere close to this was at the beginning of stage 1.
Yeah.
And I think they've really started to figure themselves out and having that versatility between those two players in particular has really opened it up for everybody else, because now you're getting guys like Gray are able to play a lot better. He's a very good player. He just wasn't able to do enough.
Yeah.
And now that those guys have really opened it up for them.
Yeah, because if you're Zarya struggling, that's in this meta, even with Somber Goats, it screws you up.
Yeah.
Bad.
Absolutely.
And the thing is one of the things that they struggled with was the follow-up damage on grabs and things like that. These guys, they're making sure they're charged. Mm-hmm. Well, they actually have charge.
They're having charge. But then also Danye playing Sombra is really opening that kind of stuff up. So Finzi can go in and just wreck with Zarya. And then if they have to switch back to regular goats, they're just... It just brings so much more dynamic to what they're able to do.
Yeah, it's working. I mean, this is one of the few times where you can go, all this, the kind of the swapping roles around has worked.
Yeah.
I think it was because their Zarya play was so bad, it didn't really matter who was in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's making a world of difference. I mean, they're 3-1 in this stage, and they could make it into the stage playoffs.
Absolutely.
But them in Houston in the stage playoffs?
Yeah, that's what we're looking at right now.
Okay.
Very possible. So let's move on to the second game we were going to look at, and that's going to be the Gladiators versus Shanghai. This is probably the match of the week for me.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Because, I mean, just looking at everything else that's on the schedule this week, there's really no other, powerhouses, I guess.
Yeah, clashing. And we'll talk about a couple of the other matches that we're looking at. I mean, we do have the London-New York match, which is just a classic.
Yeah, that's just a classic rivalry at this point.
And it's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
But
this one just...
We know what they are.
Yeah, we know what they are. And this one, we're still kind of figuring out where both of these teams are. Gladiators have shown that they're starting to turn that corner and inch their way up into the elite teams. Shanghai is showing that they've grown a ton and they're trying to push into that top 5. So it really is going to show us where both of these teams are, and I fully expect this to go to 5 maps, and it's going to be interesting to see which team clutches it out.
Yeah, it's going to be, and we know how the Gladiators, they'll play 3-3 if they have to, but they'll pull stuff out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you might have to against Shanghai because they're going to be running somber goats too.
Right. So with Shanghai, the guys that we wanted to really highlight are people that we're not really been talking about as much as we talk about how important supports are. We really don't talk about these guys, and that's Luffy and Coma.
Yeah.
And
we're 2 underrated supports.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're going for a lot of the underrated players when we're talking about these matches because it's stuff that you guys know to watch Jonak.
Right.
In this, you're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to probably watch Ding. Mm-hmm. Or Diem or something like that. Right,
like with that, you're going to watch Ding, you're going to watch Diem, you're going to watch Gamsu. Like, we talked extensively about them. And then possibly, I don't really expect Envy to have a factor in this week. I don't, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think he's really going to even get any playing time this week because they want to get him. They want to get him some scrim time and kind of see what they do and how they do it and all that. Yeah. So I feel like at the earliest we see him is maybe next week. Maybe not even until stage 3 or stage 4. But with Luffy and Coma, I've talked about Luffy and that I think he's an excellent Zen. I think he's one of the more underrated Zens.
I think so too.
I think he's in the top 8 Zen players in the league.
I think he's up there too. I think he's consistent.
Yeah.
And he's consistent with his trances, Discord orbs, all that kind of stuff that you really need from a Zen. Yeah. He does a lot of damage too, but he's kind of well-rounded. He's not a fragger.
Right, he's not a fragger, but he's also not, he's not timid. Yeah. And he's not just supporting and all that. So he's doing enough of both aspects that he's really helping this team a lot. Yeah. And then same with Coma, I think he's there, he's making the boops that they need. He's just making those quick decisions and those quick things that you need from a Lucio to really aid your team.
Yeah, with the crossfade and all that stuff. He's good with all of the things. Now, also, he's not flashy.
Right.
But consistently good. And sometimes you need that more than the 1 or 2 flash plays.
Exactly.
Which happens with some teams. You got it happened. We love Masa, but occasionally it happens with Masa. He'll get a couple of big boops and then die.
Yeah, he'll get some. He'll make some good plays, but then he puts himself in a really dangerous position. And
this guy's good at not doing that.
Yeah, these guys are good at making plays or opening up plays, but not putting themselves in precarious positions.
Yes, and good with the alt sound barrier, all that stuff. Getting the boot, like you're saying, getting the boops and all that stuff when you need to. I think that they're going to make a big difference in this game because Gladiators are going to try some weird shit too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're going to need these guys to be and also being able to switch on to other stuff.
Mm-hmm. They're going to have to be on their toes for sure. So, and I think Luffy's we've not really seen too much of it, but he's a very good Ana player as well.
Yeah. Obviously dependent on what the Gladiators do.
Right. So let's talk about some of the guys on the Gladiators. I mean, we've mentioned them and the impact that they've made, but we haven't really dove deep into what they're doing to help them, and that's Roar and Decay.
Yeah.
These guys...
once they got acclimated, they started to pick it up. I mean, Roar at first, we were kind of joking around like how he was getting just absolutely...
Oh, he was feeding the fuck out of the first stage.
Yeah. But you know what? They
had to adjust to his play style, and he kind of had to adjust to their play style. So he kind of reined it in a little bit, but they did enough to support him when he has those opportunities to really be aggressive and go all in.
Yeah, and Decay is just one of the best Zarias in the league right now.
Oh, hands down.
He's just he at first. I mean, he had played in contenders, but. He seemed a little overly aggressive with the grabs and stuff like that. I think he's gotten a lot smarter with that.
He's gotten much smarter with that, and I think that comes with good coaching that they've had. Yeah. Deepay has really done a phenomenal job of getting these guys integrated and getting them all working together as a team. Yeah. And these two especially, it's insane how much this team has grown. And then
And a lot of people are kind of shaky on him right now, which...
Yeah. I wouldn't sleep on this team. They haven't really made that impact in the playoffs, but it's bound to happen. Like they're not just going to wallow in mediocrity of playoffs forever. Like
I mean, they're in fourth in the stage, with +8 maps and all that. I mean, they're right up there with Seoul.
Yeah, and I really think that they're one of those teams that once they figure that out, they're going to make a deep run. Yeah. Type of thing. Like, it's going to be, like, there's going to be just some flip, or some switch that gets flipped, and they're going to make a run.
It's going to be the 2-2-2 lock flip.
Yeah, pretty much.
If they do that.
Yeah.
That's another team that's dangerous with when they go in a 2-2-2.
Absolutely.
The thing that I think a lot of people are overlooking, memeing on the playoff record and all that stuff. Yeah. They're overlooking the fact that they don't have their main diva player. Void is okay. Yeah. Bishu was their main guy. He was also kind of a leader too.
Absolutely.
I mean, you lost, and he's he was sick. So I mean, there's only so much you can do.
So they lost out on that, but I think also they have,
and that's a tough adjustment. And you have to adjust your playstyle, which is what they're doing.
They've done a really good job of that, and then utilizing their versatile DPS players to kind of take advantage of that and move things around and make like the Somber Goats work, and even do some of the Shock Fist. Yeah. If any team's going to pull that out, it's going to be them.
Yeah, and or the Frozen Fist.
Or Frozen Fist.
There's another one. Ice Fist, Bitch Fist. Anyway, that's my term for those two. Because I hate Mei. I fucking hate Mei. Yeah. Yes. If you want to see me get tilted playing a game, watch the Mei get like one bit of snow on me and I lose my fucking mind. I fucking hate her.
Yeah, she's pretty...
Kel has to endure it. God, I fucking hate Mei.
Oh, believe me, I'm with you on it. I despise Mei.
But you kind of like, it's like, oh, here we go. Fucking just murder her and shut up.
Right. All right. So that's good on those. So let's talk about the last match of the week that we wanted to talk. And that is going to be Hangzhou versus Seoul. And the big question coming into this game is, which Seoul lineup are we going to see? We talked extensively about this on Sunday, but it's a valid question. Like, are we going to see the A team or the B team or some kind of mix of those two? Like, are they going to do the Rouge Hong with the Fissure Fleta lineup, or are they going to...
His Ana is better. Well, it's one of the best.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If you're going to run like a Somber Goats or something like that, you're going to run an Ana,
You want Rouge Hong in there.
Yeah, he's good enough to where you can flip him in with both, but
then you still run that risk, like we talked about.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You're doing what London was okay when they were running one lineup in one lineup, and then it was, well, let's put this one in. And when you start, mixing and matching it, and especially with goats, and whatever 3-3 kind of thing you're running, it's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah. So it's definitely a big question, and they're only playing one game this week, so I'm guessing it's going to be the Marvel lineup.
Yeah, I would think, and as long as unless they come up with another amalgamation of what the fuck,
right? But I think that lineup also kind of works best in this situation against Hangzhou. Yeah. So that's the team I'm expecting to see.
Yeah, and Hangzhou the thing is with Hangzhou is they're playing a ton better, A. Mm-hmm. B, lest we forget, they're one of the more versatile teams in the league. So if you start, doing Somber, they're going to do other stuff too.
Right.
They're not just going to, their main tank is, A, doesn't wear orange and get tilted anytime he sees here's Be Right Back. Mm-hmm. And just shut up, Super. Fucking play.
Yeah. Shut up and play.
Because now you're giving everybody 100% reason to run Sombra. Because you lose your fucking mind. Yeah. And it's not a cheese comp. We talked about enough of that on Sunday. Yeah. But anyway.
But let's go into Hangzhou and kind of talk their guys that honestly no one is really talking about. And that's
not
their
enough.
Supports. Yeah, I mean, there's been some mention here and there, but it's really more about Gushui and Crystal and some of these other guys. Yeah. But honestly, they have one of the more underrated support lines in IDK and Bebe.
Yeah, I think so too. IDK...
Or BB or whatever the hell.
Yeah, BB, Bebe.
Yeah.
IDK is one of the most, we keep saying this, he's one of the most underrated Lucio players.
Yeah.
I think if you look at, and he's a big play Lucio player.
He's a big play Lucio player, but he's also been consistent.
Yeah.
Pretty much through the whole season. Even when they were having their really rough stretch,
he was
still like very stable and helped them even stay in the game at those points.
And he is like, he's one of the best with the boops into ultimates.
Yes.
And that kind of thing. He's really good with, the sound barrier.
Mm-hmm.
But all around, he makes, like, a lot of times, there's so many times he makes big plays. He goes chasing a little bit, though, occasionally.
He does do a little too much chasing.
That wall riding, I want to get the other Lucio.
Yeah. I would say it's like a half a step below what, like, a Massa does with his aggressiveness.
Yeah. It's because it's like one of those, all right, I want to get the other Lucio or whatever, but he chases a little, but still, he does a fantastic job.
He really does.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, Bebe has been another really consistent player for them. I think he was a little less consistent during those rough times.
Yeah.
Just because I think Zen was not fully in his hero pool. So I think he was kind of making an adjustment to really playing a lot more Zen and kind of figuring it out, especially in the GOATS meta where it's going to be a little bit different on how you're going to play Zen and all of that. But I think he's steadily gotten better, and I think he's also just he's really started to make a name for himself with his Ana play as well.
Yeah, and you need that now too.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, if you don't see a diva, you got to run Ana.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could run Zen. It's not a bad thing, but if they're running a Sombra, you're going to get hacked and dead.
Right.
Like instantly. That's insta-kill.
Yeah, you're going to get that, and then like you're. Like, because that's the nice thing is if you have either a Zen or a Lucio, you have that big defensive ultimate. But then at the same point, having Ana, you just bring in so much more versatility with more, you have the sleeps, you have the anti-healing and how huge that is.
Oh yeah. Especially with the whole ultimate showdown.
Yeah.
You get a nade in there when they're in the gravity. You can actually win that with a bomb.
Absolutely, you can win it with a bomb. You can win it with just some melting. Like if they're running up Zen and they pop their ult, it completely negates it. So
it just protects the Zen at that point.
Right.
He can frag though too on Zen. I think he's gotten better at managing the fragging.
Yeah.
And the Discord, like all the other things, like discording the right people. Because sometimes you're discording, but you're discording. Like,
somebody who's not able to be focused or your team really can't get to. So he's gotten better in that sense of
just the mechanics of this meta.
Yeah.
And they've gotten better. And obviously them playing Gushui more. We've talked a lot about Gushui. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys that's actually kind of coming back for them is Rhea. He's looked so much better.
Yeah.
And the first stage he was like the bomb champion.
He really was.
Yeah, he was like, 4 kill, 5 kill. Him and Envy were like going back and forth with that.
Right.
But the second stage, they were kind of meh.
Yeah,
like, he was kind of like, getting demeched a lot and just, he was Zephyring. We're just going to call it Zephyring from now on. I can't even call it like I was calling Swan, Irie Swan.
Irie Swan, yeah.
I can't come up with anything for like Zephyr other than Zephyr.
Yeah. Because
Zephyr.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets DMAC more than me. That's a lot.
Right.
Because I just face first into things. Of course, I'm half bagged when I'm doing that, but
Yeah.
Maybe that's
his problem.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Rhea. He's been a little bit more consistent, and that's helped them out a ton.
Yeah. And it's opening it up for them to run some other comps and all that. Yeah.
I think running Gushui is so good on fucking Winston.
Yeah.
And he's not bad on him either. And he's good on all three of the tanks. And all the tanks that he would probably play, Orisa and whatnot. But his monkey is like probably he's up there with Gesture.
Yeah. He is a top tier
we've talked about that
for sure.
But Seoul, going into the match, we don't know what we're going to get.
Right.
So
but at the same point, it's weird because like we don't know what Seoul is what we're gonna get from them, but at the same time, like it's a very high chance that no matter what lineup they roll out, it's gonna go pretty well for them.
Yeah,
because they've got a +8 map differential in this stage. They've looked really solid no matter who they're running because the games that they're winning, they are crushing.
Yeah,
but when they lose, like they lose hard. So it's
hard to figure out what's going on with that. I'm actually going to be paying more attention to Hangzhou in this match.
Yeah.
Because I think they've gotten better and they're kind of climbing. I kind of have, it's like, what Seoul, even though you don't know what lineup, kind of know what Seoul is.
Yeah.
I want to see what Hangzhou's going to pull out.
Yeah.
If they're going to go back to doing more of that. Because I think people are proving now that you can do that.
You really can. All
right, guys. So that is our preview for Stage 3, Week 3. We wanted to hit on some of the news and all that. We got you, on the matches that we're going to be paying attention to. So that is going to do it for this one. Before we start going into the end things, don't forget June 30th. We are not going to be doing a Sunday back cap because we have to do inventory. Real life things. We have to count fish and beer. And not necessarily together. And we're not going to be eating them anyway. So just keep that in mind. We'll do something for some kind of a review. Even if we just do a video or something like that, we'll come up with something.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot. And I want to throw another shout out to Blazing Bob, who joined us on Sunday Night Back Cap last week. It was a blast.
It really was. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check that out. We have it up on our YouTube. We also have the audio up with all the podcast stuff.
And let us know what you think. We're going to get some people on from time to time, different podcasters, and see who else we can dig up along the way.
Yeah.
But that's going to be all for today. So thanks a lot for joining us. If you guys are on YouTube, please hit a like and a subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you're listening on any form of podcasting, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever your catcher is, any kind of rating, etc., would be great. We have a Patreon page. We are slowly but surely trying to work on that. We're going to get you guys some more stuff. We got the replay viewer.
Yeah, now that we've got the replay viewer for both aspects, expect some cool stuff from that.
You can start crying like I did when I was watching my idiot play. And you can watch it and laugh. Except for when I was playing Symmetra. Then I was facing into people. That was kind of dumb, but I'm becoming a Symmetra main. Anyway, let's end this.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for this week, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Catch you guys on the next one, guys. Later.
Later.